Welcome to Intro to Entrepreneurship, Entrepreneurship One. I'm Miguel Colon. I'm the guy that's going to be teaching the class over this next 8 weeks. So I'm pretty excited because I just took the last couple weeks and completely rebuilt the class, and I'm really excited about it. And so let's get into it, and I'll show you what I mean. I have a tendency to get distracted easily. So first, let's talk about why students fail my classes. First, they don't watch the videos. And, you know, I get it. You're busy, you're distracted, you got things going on. But if I create a video and or a lecture and I put it into the case study, because we're going to, I don't know, like 6 or 7 case studies, I put them into the case studies. You really need to watch those because there's a lot of instruction that's in those videos. And so students just don't watch them. Or I have videos that are assigned to every class every week, and they don't watch them. And so, I get it. You're busy, and the prospect of sitting and watching a video, unless it's Netflix, nobody wants to do it, right? Or YouTube. So here's what you could do: put the video on, stick your phone in your pocket, take your dog for a walk, and that way you do your homework, you get a little exercise, you're in the sun, and your dog is happy, right? But that content is really vital. Or two, you're going to fall behind, and you're not going to talk to me, or you're going to talk to me. It's too late. The time to talk to me is that like the day after the assignment was due, not like a week or 2 weeks later. This is a 17 and a half week class that we do in 8 weeks. So to say that this is a sprint is sort of an understatement, right? And but so there's a lot of work that we do in a very short period of time. And so you can't just disappear for a week or two, right? You're going to get busy at work, or you're going to go on vacation. I have students do this all the time. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't turn in my work. I was on vacation. That's great. You're still going to get the F, right? Because you missed major projects. And they don't like it. I don't like it. Nobody likes it. So the way that we address that is let me know in advance, and then we can maybe have a chat about what to do with some of your schedule, right? Maybe you're going to do some work early, turn it in early, rather than turn it in late, because turning it in late might not be an option. But we won't know unless we chat, right? So you send me a little text and we talk. Or shit hits the fan, right? This happens every semester, and somebody becomes homeless, or they lose their job, their car breaks down, they can't get to work, their parent lost their job, now they're moving across the country. There's always stuff that's going on, and I get it. And I don't need to know the drama, like I don't need to know the details of what's going on. I just need to know that something is going on and that it's impacting you, so I can figure out what I could do to be helpful. But at the end of the day, if you don't talk to me, there's nothing I can do. And you're going to come back to me in 2 weeks and try to explain all this stuff, and I get these 8 paragraph explanations, and it's too late. There's nothing I can do. The work is designed to be done week to week to week. It's not designed for you in 2 weeks to knock it all out. That is not the way this course is laid out. And you can work ahead a little bit, but the people that work ahead too much, thinking they can just do all the work in a week or two, they don't learn squat. And I'd like to think you're taking an entrepreneurship class because there's something in the back of your head that says, I'm at the point in my life where I think it's time for me to get in the game and get off the bench. And this is the class. That's to give you the tools so you can get off the bench and actually get in the game. And hopefully, this isn't just one of those dial it in classes that you're trying to take because you think it'll be easy. I've got one of those. If you want to take one of those, it's much easier, not nearly as much work. If you're interested in hearing about that class, let me know. It starts next week. But this is not that class. This is the, put me in, coach. I want to play class. So my background, I'm a tenured professor, entrepreneurship and business, but I'm an entrepreneur. I've started 11 companies, put about $40 million into those companies. 8 of them have succeeded, 3 have failed. The last one I started with a bunch of partners, failed during COVID-19. It was a great idea, but we had no business trying to do this. We're not. consumer product guys. We built software mostly, and but it was great fun during COVID. It kind of kept me distracted. But the one before that, we sold for a lot of money to a New York Stock Exchange listed company. Before that, before becoming an entrepreneur, I was at Morgan Stanley. I got my MBA from St. Mary's. I am a Chabot College alum and a Hayward kid. I was born in the city, but I was really raised in Hayward. I was like 8 years old or something when we moved to Hayward. And so Hayward's sort of the city I grew up in. So as I said before, course pace, we're cooking. Um, in the first 2 weeks, there's no room for error. This is really we do some foundational stuff here. And there's four major projects that are in the class, and I'll talk about them. And they're designed to be done in order, right? And because they build on each other. And now that I'm using AI to facilitate some of this, just going back and saying, well, can I just go back and make it up? No, you can't. There's just no way to do that. We're moving right along in this class. Um, big We get a bunch of objectives in the course. For me, understand the process of identifying and screening new business ideas is really important for me. Ideas are like elbows. Most people have a couple of them. And so ideas are not unique, but it's how do we identify quickly? How do we go through the process of saying, this is a good idea, this is not, right? And what are the pieces of that? I think that's the most important part. Um, Hopefully you're accessing this through Canvas. I can't email this to you anymore because we no longer have access to your personal email addresses. So hopefully you're going to get this notification through Canvas. There's a little bit of reading, an entrepreneurship ebook that we use, great book, free. 3 chapters of a book called The Innovator's Solution. This is deep stuff, man. This is deep reading. This is the book I used when I was getting my MBA. And the book's a tough read, man. Chapter 2, the first chapter we read together, man, it's a tough read. And there are some really difficult concepts. I had to read it 2 or 3 times. But once I got it, it like changed the way I thought. It still changed the way I think. And it changed how I approached markets. And so take your time. It's a book they used at Harvard. And I figured if they could do it in Harvard, we could do it in Hayward, right? And that's sort of a philosophy of mine. Tough read. You just got to take your time. Plan to read it 2 or 3 times. You're not going to buzz through it. Course overview. It's broken into 5 pieces. The mindset, the process of identifying opportunities, market research, budgeting, which is a big part of this. Let's get right into it. Project 1. It used to be that I would say, go create for me 100-word description of your business. And you would have to go figure out how to do that on your own. And I would give you examples and give you some guidelines. And I got to tell you, some of the product that was created was just not great. And because it's hard to do that, like how do you out of thin air come up with a description? Really hard. So my buddy and I, we built this business plan program that I'll show you in a second. And it's all using AI. There's like 20 pieces that are built, 19 or 20 pieces that are built that use AI that do nothing but help you do this project. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the GPT specifically that does this. So this is the part of the book. I'm still working on the book. The book should be done whew, end of this month, right? I've been saying that for the last couple months. The big pieces are built, but as I go through this, there's more and more and more that I'm like, oh man, we need this, oh, we need that, and so it's just everything takes a little bit longer, but this will be free for everybody to use. And but what this is going to do is it'll take you about 20, 30 minutes, right? Don't think this is going to be 5 minutes, right? But then, by the way, you have access to this for the rest of your life or the rest of my life. Because when I die, my American Express will be turned off. And then you'll no longer have access to this because I'm paying to have this OpenAI account exist. But what it'll do is it's going to run you through the idea, big picture. What does your business do? Product, service, mission, vision, business name. How do you think you're going to structure the business, LLC or whatever? It's going to run you through everything. And then when you're done, it gives you like a 2 to 4 page paper, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, it's beautiful, right?" And so that's what you're gonna do now. It'll probably take you less time than you trying to fumble around and figure out what to do. Project two, same thing, but you're gonna talk about your industry and market analysis. And this is also, let me go back to this, right? This is a big thing, right? Industry you're in. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to require that you're going to have a browser that you're operating in, and then you're going to have to open up another browser because it's going to want you to go do other research. Like, go find out what is that. You just go to Google to do a lot of that stuff. Like, how big is the blah blah blah, right? Or how big is the market in the San Francisco Bay Area? And how many customers are there? You're going to go through and you're going to do all of this research. It might take you an hour. But then when you're done, oh my gosh, the document you have is amazing. So, one thing to keep in mind is that at the end of the first project, and there's instructions. It's not going to, you don't have to remember this, but there's this thing that's going to be generated at the end as a block, a memory block of a bunch of words and stuff and descriptions. And you're going to have to take that, keep that, copy, paste it into another document because when you get ready to start this, it's going to say, hey, give me the memory block from your company description. And if my dog starts to bark, I apologize. It's early morning. People like to walk their dogs, and my dog likes to sit at the window and pretend like he's a tough guy. But he's got a great bark. So if he barks, I apologize. You're going to use this memory block and then put it into the next so that it knows, oh, it's going to be like, oh, okay, got it. I know what you're doing now. So that this is how we're moving information that we collect from one GPT to the next. Budget project. So there's a couple ways you're going to be able to do this. And I'll show you when we get to into the Canvas piece of this. Is I created 7 GPTs to do budgeting. So like there's everything. Like how do you generate revenue? And then there's okay, got it. What is your cost of sales? So let's say, for example, you're going to open a coffee shop. I get a lot of cafes, or you're going to open up a hair salon or nail salon. You're going to do a service related business. You're going to have costs that are associated with delivering that service. So, for example, you open a cafe, you're going to have the cost of the baked goods, the coffee, the water, the things that are required in order to be able to deliver that product. And students really struggled with trying to figure out cost of goods. And I saw that. And I've been really monitoring it for the last couple of semesters. They didn't get the concept. So I created a GPT, like, let's go through and figure out what your cost of goods are. And I want to remove all the guesswork. I just want you to be able to think strategically. I don't want you to have to think about, tactic. What does that mean? Definitions, we'll work that out. The GPT knows what that is. Your job is really just to think about what are the costs associated with that. And or so you could do that. It'll take longer. The work product that you generate will be off the charts better. Or I've got a video that I've used for years that in a workbook, you just do that. That'll probably take you less time. The work product won't be as good. Either will work for me because not everybody is going to want to, take the time, right? Um, the final pitch at the end, you're going to learn a bunch. And so what we want to do is make sure that you have a mechanism to begin talking to people about what this means. So you're going to create a video. Let me say that again. You are going to create a video and you're going to upload it to either Studio in Canvas, or you're going to record it on your phone and you're going to throw it up on YouTube. But at the end of the day, I need a link to a video with you speaking your words. And I have students from almost every country in the world, and so uh, uh, do not tell me your English that I'm not going to be able to understand your English or that your English is hard. Um, uh, I got you, right? And by the way, if English is your second language, the only way you're going to learn to speak English is to speak English. So just consider me one of your practice partners with you practicing your English. But you're going to create a video and you're going to essentially the three big pieces that we just worked on, right? General description, understanding your market, the amount of money. You're going to take all those pieces, right? There's going to be like maybe between 6 to 12 pages, and you're going to create this little presentation and you're going to give that presentation on a video. And at the end, you're going to ask for something, right? I need 10 grand to go build this, or I need a lawyer to help me do my documents. We'll get into that more later, but that is the bulk of this. This is the class. This is what we're going to do. Points, right? There's points for all kinds of stuff, right? You get over 931 points. That is a solid A. So rules are simple, right? Do the work, don't cheat. I mean, honestly, if you're too busy and you find yourself cheating because you don't have time to do it, drop the class, take it later. If you're not going to learn anything in this class, why are you taking this class? Like I said, this is not like uh, a class you take just as a gimme, right? This isn't well, that sounds like fun. I'll take you. Most people that are taking this class is because, like I said, they want to get off the bench and they want to get in the game. And so, if that's you, there's no need for you to cheat. If you're overwhelmed, reach out to me. We'll work it out. General logistics. Best way to get me, text me. I've got one phone. I know a bunch of people have like a work phone and a personal phone. I don't. I have a phone. So you send me a text at like 7:30 at night, there's a pretty good chance that I'm going to respond. And you send me a text at 8:30 at night, you are not going to hear from me until the next morning. I go to bed early, I read, I sleep, I get up early. And so you can send me a text at 11:30 and nobody's going to respond, right? And but most throughout the day, I'm really, really good about responding to students. All right, so let's take a look at Canvas, so you can get a sort of a quick navigation, right? Um, Getting around Canvas is pretty easy. Up here, we've got all this stuff, right? We've got the PowerPoint that we just went through. This course introduction will be there. There's a little fun video from Snoop Dogg. You should watch it. It's just fun. These are links to all the books, right? This is the book. These are the chapters you're going to read. So everything you need for the class right here. Okay. A couple extra credit assignments, but be mindful of those dates, right? So this has to be done by like June 26th, and this has to be done by July 11th. These are both really easy, 50 extra credit points. These are designed to sort of buffer against the fact that life happens, right? So there are 2 chapters that you've got to read every single week. Remember, 17 and a half week class that we're doing in 8 weeks. Um, and then your business idea. Um, so there's some fun parts of this, right, that you can work on. Um, this one here is nothing but, and I'm gonna click on it so you get an idea what it looks like. This one in particular, ungraded, right? There's no real points associated with it, but it's really going to help you with your future assignments. Okay. Well, actually, I guess it is graded. Sorry. Um, you're going to go in here and you're going to say, hi, yeah, I'm Miguel. We can say Michael, right? The same thing, but this way it's not kind of like, hey, Miguel, what are you doing back here, right? It's going to be like, hi, Michael, welcome, Professor Collins, and welcome, blah, blah, blah. And what it's going to do now is it's going to start asking you all about you and everything. It's going to ask you about, what jobs have you held? What industries have you worked in? And the whole point of this is to help maybe unlock some ideas so that you're not like, I'll do pet walking, or I'll just open a cafe. Let's try to find a business that maybe aligns more with what you might be interested in, right? And so I just built this. This is like you're going to be, probably one of the first 50 people to take it. And I've run through it several times. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. But it really is going to ask you, like, tell me about you. What have you done? Tell me about your hobbies. Tell me about the things that you like to do. I mean, it really is designed to help you sort of unlock um, um, uh, some stuff in your head. Okay. And then you're going to get one of those memory blocks. You want to do this one first, your business, and then you do assignment one because it's going to give you a memory block. It's going to tell you these are all of your interests. It's going to get those. And then when you start this franchise GPT, right, you're going to put that into it, and it's only going to go find franchises that are aligned with your interests. So it saves you so much time. Before, you'd have to like go to Google and go, what are some franchises that are available? And now what it's going to do is it's going to go through and it's going to go help you like tighten it up, man. Like it's going to come back with three great franchise ideas. And you're just going to take those and upload those. So this is going to, one, make the research that you have to do more impactful, more fruitful, and maybe increase the probability that you're like, well, geez, maybe I will go buy that franchise. And then we've got case studies. Almost every week you're going to have a case study. These are real world stories. So like this one here, this is one of my favorites. And there's a lecture, so I'm not going to give you another lecture. Um, this whole idea is that there's this young woman, been working at her job for 7 years, has a great business idea. But there's a bunch of like, personal things that go into starting a business, right? It's not just, will the business make money? Do you have a life that is going to support you being an entrepreneur? And she's 29. We've come to the conclusion she's 29 because I run this every semester. At 29, and what do we know about 29-year-old women? Is she married? She got a partner? Does she have in some sort of a long-term? Does she have kids? Does she have dogs? What's going on with her family? And does she have nieces and nephews that birthday parties? And her parents are getting older. What if one of her parents? And so this case study is not easy, and so it's really designed for you to debate with other students. Like, should Mary do this? And then what you're going to do is you're going to put up yours. You're going to go look at other students, four of them, and then you're going to say, I think that's interesting, but what about this? What about that? These discussion boards are really designed to like further the learning, right? So that's week one, and then every week is just like that. Every week rolls out. There's new stuff. Week two, and so week two, the assignments you'll see, research businesses that are for sale. And so the idea here is, people think entrepreneurs are people that just start ideas from zero, right? And that's not the case. Entrepreneurs start businesses from zero. Entrepreneurs buy businesses that are existing and add their own secret sauce. Entrepreneurs buy franchises and then figure out how to add their secret sauce. And so this assignment two is now let's go find businesses that are for sale. Once again, the memory block that you create should plug right in. It's going to start off by saying, hey, give me the memory block. Let's see if it does that. That'd be so cool if it does. Hi. Great. The assignment preparation, give me the data block, right, from your business discovery GPT. So it worked. That's always helpful when you click a link and it actually works. So you're going to upload that link. And then what it's going to do is it's going to go find businesses that are potentially for sale. It's going to go look at different sources. And it's going to come back with ideas. And this is a business maybe you should consider buying, right? And then in week two, again, I'm just going to do the week two and then we'll wrap this up, right? Discussion board. This is a brainstorming session where I really want you guys to throw out your idea and then comment with other people. Be nice about it, but be kind of like, dude, do we really need another cafe? Really? Do you really think people are going to go? I remember I had a student, I don't know, 10 years ago say where her idea was she wanted to open a cafe. I'm like, a cafe. And then she said, but what I want to have are kitties that we work with the local SPCA with, and they'll bring the kitties, and people can pay an hourly rate to go to the back and go play with kitties. And I'm like, that is the silliest thing I've ever heard. Of course, those businesses now exist, and they're crushing it. Why? Because or puppies. I would do the puppies. but do they lower stress levels? And there's one in San Francisco. I guess you can go walk the puppy, and it lowers stress levels. And then the SPCA is interested because they get a piece of the action, and and people will be like, I want this dog or I want this cat. Can I adopt it? And so um, brainstorm, because sometimes people are going to be like, this is what I'm thinking, and then you can help them add to that business idea. And or be like, I don't know, bro, another mobile car wash. I get it. There's a lot of cars, but what's going to be, your secret sauce? What are you going to be that? What are you going to do that's so unique? And so ask them, and that way they're kind of like, oh yeah, maybe I do have to think about doing something that's unique. And then once again, there's another quiz. So this is sort of this is the flow, right? And then this one, the project one description, and you're just going to go to this builder, and it's going to do all these wonderful things for you, all right? This is the class. Um, not easy. Um, probably not. This isn't calculus, so it's not gonna. It's not hard like calculus, but it's not an easy class either, because it's designed to challenge you. But I think it's designed to challenge you in good ways, ways that um, mean that you learn, and that maybe you can help unlock that thing in you that's saying, I just want to go do something on my own. So I hope this was helpful. We went a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but what are you going to do? I get excited about stuff. If you got questions, you know how to find me, right? Um, don't hesitate. Send me a little note. Say, hey, if something's going on, reach out, let me know. And then at the very end of this, if you're interested, I can send you the full business plan builder program, and then you can finish building your business plan. All right, peace.